There it is, our other big story tonight. We're on the storm track as the first big rain of the season is heading our way tonight. Juan Fernandez joins us live. He's up on our roof with a preview of what's coming.
Well, Mike, if you're heading north this weekend, you'll not only need an umbrella, but you're going to need snow tires, snow chains as well, because it's really yucky up there and it's heading our way. Before the weekend is over, this could be us. The first big winter storm of the season is heading our way, bringing with it up to 2 inches of rain and even snow. Already at Donner Pass in the Sierra, snow has fallen, forcing drivers there to use snow chains.
If you're on the northbound side.
And you can bet that the first rainstorm will bring with it plenty of problems, especially for drivers.
We've had up to 600 accidents at one given moment here on our CAD systems.
Downtown Los Angeles on the northbound side.
As they say, when it rains, it pours here.
Metro traffic monitors traffic conditions around the clock. The biggest problem, they say, with the first rain is all the summer buildup on the road.
Road oils build up. They build up to the point where they have no place else to go, but when the first water hits it, they all come up and we have what's called hydroplaning.
Well, what to remember, if you're out there, of course, keep a greater distance from the car in front of you and check your tires. And if you thought the summer went right by you, if you're not prepared, it could turn out to be a real long winter. Steve Rambo will be along later on with the forecast. Reporting live in Hollywood, I'm Juan Fernandez, CBS 2 News.
Juan, thank you.
And a traffic reporter who's accustomed to giving the news became part of it today when his plane was forced to make an emergency landing out at Dodger Stadium. Luckily, the Cessna was near the wide open spaces of the stadium parking lot just before 4 this afternoon when, as you'll see, the engine actually died. They were having trouble. Pilot Aisha Bauer and Metro traffic reporter Mike McDermott were relieved to be on the ground safely.
If you have to make a forced landing, there is no better place in Southern California than the parking lot at Dodger Stadium. All right, Dodgers.
Yeah, good for you, too. No one was hurt. Lisa?
All right, sir. Now, we're going to find out the situation of the roads all around you there by checking in with Michael McDermott, Metro Traffic. Michael, are you on the line?
Michael has been.
We are here.
All right, Michael.
Okay.
Well, the situation as it stands right now with the fire burning up to 500 acres is we do have a closure of Highway 241. Now, this is in both directions between Oso Parkway and San Antonio Parkway. Also, we have a brand new closure to tell you about. It's Oso Parkway itself now shut down between the 241 and the Coto de Caza area. As a matter of fact, that's where some of the evacuations are taking place, non-mandatory as we have stipulated. However, you're going to find some slow traffic along the I-5 freeway through the area. And, of course, if you're on surface streets in the area, that's just not the good place to be. Stay out of firefighters' way. Let them do their job. And, of course, this we've been saying all throughout the afternoon, this is an excellent example of what good planning and good firefighting skills can do in a situation like this. And, Harold, back to you.
Michael, are there any alternative routes, or is just everything clogged up down there? Is the whole system overloaded?
If you're in the area of the fire, the best solution for you would be to stay to the southwest of the I-5 freeway. And I know there's not very many through streets down there, but really no good alternate routes. If you're on the 5, I'd just tough it out if I were you.
It may be the reason that nobody's showed up at Rancho Santa Margarita, because we've heard that people had left their homes. We heard that from the sheriff's department there, and if no one showed up, it may be that they just can't get there.
Yeah, you're saying the Oso Parkway is closed down?
They have shut down Oso Parkway at last word between the 241 and the Coto de Caza area, so that could be exactly what you said. Maybe why some of the voluntary evacuees haven't showed up.
And I can't see on our map book in front of us here, I can't see any way that they can get there now that that's closed off.
They may want to take some other action and move to another area. I'm sure the county firefighters will set something up for the folks who can't get through.
Michael McDermott, thank you.
Take care.
It's going to be 15 minutes after the hour shortly. Let's check in with Michael McDermott, live in Chopper 2 for traffic, and he's grounded again this morning.
More fog this morning, huh, Michael?
Definitely so. It's a very foggy morning here. As a matter of fact, in the picture you can see we have the Van Nuys Airport Tower and the beacon going around. You can see the fog pretty much. I'll zoom in a little bit more. You can see that the fog is pretty thick this morning, so we may be grounded for a while. Also, you can see on the southbound side of the 405 freeway coming up on Sunset, we don't really have any slowing, so it's the good time of morning to be out there at this time. We do have a problem on the Pomona freeway. That's the 60 westbound. Coming up on the 57 freeway, you're going to find an accident there with 4 cars involved. Looks like traffic is jammed up there for a couple of miles. And also a problem on the San Bernardino freeway. This is in Ontario now. Eastbound 10 coming up on 4th Street. An accident with several cars in the number 3 lane. Should be off to the right shoulder shortly. Have a safe one out there. From Chopper 2 in the Van Nuys Airport, Gray grounded at this point. I'm Michael McDermott. Back to you.
Michael, and thank you for waking up with us this morning.
No problem. Love to do it.
It's always tough when you don't do it on a regular basis.
That's for sure.
Thanks,
Thank you, Michael.
Okay.
Okay, we're on.
Mike, this is a pretty good time for astronomers, isn't it?
It sure is.
Is it rare?
Yes, it is.
Tell me about what we're actually going to be seeing tomorrow.
What we're going to be seeing tomorrow is something called an annular eclipse of the sun. Now, this is not to be confused with a total eclipse. What we're going to be seeing is approximately 38.8% of the sun's area eclipsed by the moon. Now, this occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, causing the moon's shadow to fall on the Earth.
So we should be able to see what looks like a bite out of the sun.
Exactly, precisely.
I know a lot of you here at the Griffith Park Observatory have been pretty concerned that people not try to view it through exposed film or just a polarized lens. How do you recommend people watch?
The very best way to view an eclipse is through a projection system. In other words, get a couple of pieces of cardboard, make a small hole in it, and another white piece of paper. Simply hold the piece of cardboard up and focus that little image that you'll see coming through it onto the white piece of paper. You'll get a little disc on the piece of paper, and during the eclipse you'll see a little bite out of that disc. So that's the simplest way to do it.
And you avoid the harm that could come from looking through an inappropriately screened lens.
Exactly. Harm can come to your eyes up to 20 or 30 years later in the form of cataracts or even blindness. So it's not advisable to view an eclipse directly through your eyes.
What about the weather? It's very humid tonight and there are clouds brewing out there.
We are a little concerned with that, but we're going to keep our fingers crossed, listen to Dr. George, and make sure everything goes right tomorrow morning.
And now tonight's Consumer Trends Report, and you know, Halley's Comet is, you might say, on final approach as it swings in toward the sun and comes pretty close to planet Earth. But you do need a powerful telescope to see the comet right now. Later on, if you would like to get a glimpse of the famous comet, Mike McDermott of the Los Angeles Optical Company says you won't have to spend a great deal of money.
The very best thing to view Halley's Comet with would be a good pair of binoculars. If you're not planning on buying a $2,000 telescope, as many people are, a good pair of binoculars will do the job just as well. It's not necessary to buy expensive equipment to see it with.
McDermott says the comet will be at its brightest next April. Some suggestions from the Griffith Park Observatory. Read up on astronomy, and the observatory can provide you with materials. And if you want to view the comet, do go someplace at a high elevation. That's preferable, where it's dark and clear and when the moon is not shining. Another way to get a clear view of Halley's Comet, book a cruise for the southern hemisphere. That's where it's going to be most easily seen. Remember, if you miss the comet this time, you'll have to wait until July 2061 for your next chance, but at least you might have a nice cruise.
The festival atmosphere peaks as the last waves of eclipse chasers invade the Big Island.
Trying to do this for a year now. We finally made it in. We've been trying to plan this for a year now. We finally made it in. We just got this flight booked last night. This is incredible. My friends here, Ted and Joy, they've been trying to do this. It's amazing. We're going to be up for 30 hours straight, but this is absolutely worth it.
Okay, the jury is on its way back in. Before we get the vote, let's see how you folks feel about the issue. Sir, should we emphasize manned or unmanned spaceflight?
I feel very strongly that we should continue the manned space program as it exists today.
Sir, is it a good investment to put as much as we do in the shuttle?
Absolutely. I agree with your side completely, Mr. Levin. Emphasis must remain on manned spaceflight, if for nothing less than, as you pointed out, to keep man's spirit alive. And I would go up in the shuttle in a minute.